What's the next step? I'm sorry? You could do that. What else could you do? Multiply across. So how you go about doing this really doesn't matter as far as this first part, okay? So let's do the next seats, and while I'm doing that, you guys can go multiply across, do whatever you want. So for the rear seats, we're looking at 321. My math good? Yeah. All right. I don't like, so if you'll see, when you're looking at some of the books, it will give you the moment like this. I really don't like doing that. Okay, it's moment times 1,000. So you're working with decimals. Well, you're going to need to do a conversion when you're at the very end. So if you just drop the decimal and do everything to the thousands, it's fine. You don't have to worry about that conversion. Okay. So what is the moment for that for the front seats?
12,728.
12,728. 728. Okay. What's the moment for the rear seats?
22,433.
133. Okay. All right, so we have 50 pounds in the baggage area, right? That's pretty simple. What's the moment for that? 50 times 95.
4,706.
4,750. Baggage 2 is really simple. I can do that in my head. All right, next step. Add up the moments. All the way on down. Ready? Go. I'm not doing it.
40,911.
How much?
40,911.
No.
Don't forget that guy.
Oh.
108.
108. Yeah, no.
944.
108,944. So it isn't, okay. All right, cool. Add up the weights.
$2,392.37.
Okay. Now we need to figure out the arm. So divide 108,944.29 divided by 2,392.37.
45.5.
45.54.
54.
All right. Fuel. So if we're doing a flight to Talkeetna, this is where you guys got to get into the books and figure out how much you need, okay? I didn't give you that kind of stuff, so we're just going to go with 45 gallons of fuel. All right? How much does 45 gallons of fuel weigh?
270 pounds.
I'm sorry?
270.
270 pounds. All right, how do we figure out the moment?
You times it. So
Go for it.
12,960.
Okay? What's the next step? Go for it.
The moment is 121,904.29.
Okay?
That one, it's gonna be
2,662.37.
Okay. And what's the arm?
48. Oh, wait.
45.79.
All right. Before we go any further, we're going to look at something. Can we go? All right, what are we going to do?
They can guess out.
People want to pick my back and it out.
Which is the right answer? What's going to be easier to get out of the airplane, fuel or passengers? So what you want to do before you fuel the plane up is figure out how much you can take. So let's say, well, we're off. So how much fuel do we want to reduce for our flight? How much fuel do we want to take to be able to go, to be within weight?
And not run out of fuel.
Talking is about maybe an hour. So you're looking at burning about 15 gallons. So we'll have plenty of fuel. But yes, that is a consideration.
Can you feel when you're there?
That's the other question.
We need to get rid of.
At least 16 gallons.
How many?
At least 16 gallons.
At least 16 gallons? Okay. How are you figuring that?
Weight of the fuel in gallons times 6.
Well, what's the max weight?
2550.
2558. Why is it 2558?
Burn fuel.
So take 2662.37 minus 2558. And what's the number?
104.37.
Divide by 6.
17.39.
So we need to pull out about 18 gallons. And you'll be okay. So what is, we said we we're going 45, so 45 minus 18. I'm sorry?
27.
27 gallons times 6.
162.
Guess what you guys just did? One of the problems on your homework. That's all it is. That's all you have to do. All right, so what was the weight for the, all right, what is our new moment?
7,776.
7,776?
Yep.
Okay. And all the math again?
New takeoff weight is 2554.37.
Okay. Moment?
One 720.2.
What?
116,720.
116,700 and point,
0.29.
sorry. And what's the arm?
45.694.
So 45.69. Good. Are we underweight? Okay. So we're legal now. Are we within the weight balance envelope though?
Yes.
How do you know?
I'm looking at it in the UH.
So well, that's gonna be hard to read. All right. So what we're doing with this one is we're using the moment the CG location down here, sorry, CG location, and then the weight, okay? So 2550 is at the very top here. So we will be outside of that for the takeoff, or for the current weight. So we don't have, the way UA has theirs set up, it doesn't account for the burn before you do all the weights. You just need to know that, okay? So we're taking off with 8 pounds less, right? But really all I'm worried about is I want to see if we're close, if we're inside this envelope, even if we're just above, okay? So 45 to 69, so we need to find that. Well, here's 45, here's 46. So right in between would be 45.5, so we'll just go a little bit. We'll go to right about here, okay? Well, if you follow that straight up, we would be inside the envelope. All right? That's it. That's all you have to do. You'll do it again for the landing. So say you go up and you burn a ton of fuel. Well, it's going to move. Typically, you'll see that your CG is going to slide slightly forward as you burn fuel. And then you will be well within the weight because you know you're not going to burn enough to, well, you're not going to shift the weight enough to get outside here. It's really going to be almost linear. It's not very far at all. So let's do one. Let's say that we go up and we fly around, we burn off. We're down to 10 gallons remaining, okay? So we're going to burn, what did we end up going with? How much fuel? 27 gallons. We're going to come back. We're going to come back with, let's just say 7 gallons of fuel, okay? So we burned off 10. So,
20.
Did I say 20?
Yeah, 27 to 7.
All right, thank you, sorry. So 120 gallons is what we burned, right? That's a minus. Times 48.
$960.
960?
Yeah.
And that's a minus. So go ahead and subtract 116, 720.29, and minus 960. And what do we get?
$110,960.29.
Divide that by 2,434.37. 2,300 and, I'm sorry, 2,434.37.
45.5.
Okay? Well, so looking on here, I'm going to zoom back in. We don't need this right now. So looking down here, we were at 45.69 before. Now we're at 45.58. We burned off 120 pounds. And how much did it shift us? How many inches? 45.69. So we moved, well, 0.11 inches by burning 120 pounds off the fuel. We didn't move very far at all, did we?
No.
Are we still within weight balance? Well, we're about here now. If you follow that all the way up, we are, and we're at just under, we're at 24 and a half basically, so we're right around here now. That's all we moved. See that? Not very much, huh?
No.
Almost linear.
That's it. That is weight and balance, determining if you're good or not. That's all you have to do. Not a lot to it. It's kind of confusing though, trying to read it and not understanding it. The moment one is no different. Instead of using CG, you're using the moment. If you look down here, 60,000 up to 110,000. Here's 120,000. Well, our weights never go. We're at 116, 7,020. So we're going to be, here's 115, about 116 all the way up. Look at that. We're inside the envelope.
Can't see it.
Yes, we're at the top, but we're in it. That's all that matters. Okay? That's how that's read. You guys all good now, right? All right, see you on Tuesday.
Take a checker.
You guys good? All right. So that's it. Who wants to do one on their own up here and show everybody how to do it?
I will not put them on
How
camera.
about that bull?
Tell them I won't put them on camera.
All right. Any questions on this? Anything you don't understand that you need further clarification on? It's not going to go very much deeper than that because that's it. That's all it is. How do you figure out if you're over, or if you need to shift weights around? What do you do? Do a new one. And then you check the differences. And you see how far you shifted it. You guys want to do one where we shift weights? Like, how about we take out passenger in the back and we throw an additional 100 pounds back there? We'll see that. See how much it shifts. Yeah, that's a
Shift
good
from
one.
flight. Is that what it said?
We could do that one. We could do that for, I mean, because you can't shift to 172. What I'm going to do is I'll actually, who had a hard time seeing that?
When you zoomed out to show both, it wasn't legible. But when you zoomed in, it was legible.
Maneuvering speed. All right. So we have weight. Arm. Boom. All right.
Would you mind writing in a blue or a black marker?
Yes. I have to rewrite it all.
No, what's up is fine, but no, unnecessary.
It's okay, don't worry about it. We have enough of the time right now. These aren't mine, so if they don't work, that's not on me. Is that better?
Actually, could you do green?
No. You get one request per class, and that's it.
All right, I want green.
I can see red fine.
At a foot. Put away you go.
Oh. Yeah, that'll work. All right. So front, none of this stuff's really going to change for the beginning part of it. So 344, we did have one person, actually, so what do we want to do, the skydive one? Where we lose one person, they get chucked out of the back seat, see how much it shifts? We'll do both. You want to do both with passengers?
Yeah.
All right. So now we've got 0. Oh, that's not 0. 7, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, and we didn't do fuel on here. There we go. Fuel is taken into account, the 8 pounds, okay? All right. All right, so what's the new weight for the back? I don't have lines, so. I'm sorry, not the new weight for the back. What is, so we're 0 there. What's the new total weight? We're going with the same amount of fuel, right? So we'll go with, what do we start at?
27?
27 gallons?
Yeah.
So 27 times 6, 7 times 6. What was the weight? 162. There we go, 162. Act as if I had the number. 1,776. What's the new total?
Total for the weight?
Yeah, okay. You tell me.
The weight is 2,233.37.
2,233? Yeah, 27. So we can drop that, it's not a big deal. What's the new moment?
The moment is 93,287.29.
93,287?
0.29.
All right, and now the new arm. The 1.76. How much have we shifted that time?
Empty to loaded is about 10 inches and 3/4.
How much?
And 1.76 inches from empty.
No, I'm talking about from the previous one that we did with the two people in the back. Yeah, we moved over 4 inches. That's a little bit bigger of a difference. But
People are heavy.
oh, that's gonna be impossible for you guys to read. We're still within though. Yeah, I'm gonna love it. So the new one is 41 something, right?
41.76.
So we're 41.76, so we're basically right around here. So here was previous, or here's the new one, here's the previous one for takeoff. So the weight's still gonna be the same, we're gonna be right up here.
I thought our weight was.
Now, if we
22.
burned, well, we were here for the
Get to the
burn.
top.
We were here for the burn. So the new burn's gonna be right over here.
I thought that since we lowered the weight because of people.
But we did it before, that one was before
okay, yeah.
takeoff. But even so, it would still be like that. Still within. But you see a lot bigger swing, huh? Yeah, we only did that one for the takeoff, because we didn't do the fuel burn on that one. And we did the 162 pounds for fuel. That was on takeoff. So all I did was I just drew a parallel line
Good.
and with the difference. That confuse you?
We didn't kick the two people off the back, though, so we,
Yeah, we did, but we also didn't. So we'll do a new one.
or we like,
Well, we did it with the takeoff fuel, remember? Yeah, so we need to do a new one without it. Seriously? Wait. So for the fuel, we had the 162. So let's do a new one real quick without it. 120. Let's do the burn. Minus 120. That's 960. So what did we land at?
Where did you get 960?
It's from the burn that we did earlier. Remember we had, so these numbers were just if we took 2 people out. You want to know what it would be if we had somebody jump out of the airplane. We need to do the burn in flight. So that's what that is. Remember we burned under the 20 gallons? So we go open the front door. That student can't get in.
Yeah, with the roll card.
No passion.
How'd you get 960 for the moment of the fuel burn?
Well,
Is that wrong?
that was burning 20 gallons, remember? The previous conversation we had about the fuel burn?
I'm not trying to understand that.
Wasn't 120 times 48, 960?
Nope,
No.
No?
What is it?
57.
Close, brother.
Oh, that's what I had before. Oh, so it's 5760. So we were way off on that.
I was really confused for a second there. I was trying to figure out that.
I didn't do the math. What was that?
5760.
5760, okay.
Negative. 57.
Yeah, negative. All right, now do the math. Yeah, no, I have 960 on here. I don't know where I heard that from. I blame it on the flight line. Air Force, it's just, I'm losing my hearing.
Huh?
Sure. 5760. Thank you. Out there long? Look, I even saw my phone light up.
Yeah, like, of course, I had instructed us not to touch the phone for the whole class.
Have you gotten your wolf card to work at the front door?
No, I tried.
Oh.
Like,
Talk to ops. They can fix that.
Good? We have the number yet?
Planned weight is 2,275.37.
How much?
2,275.
2233.37 minus 120.
Planned weight.
2233.37 minus 120.
I have a different
2,000.
number for my
2000 what?
brain.
2113. What you said?
All right, what about the moment?
Did we not take off with 162 pounds of
No,
fuel
yeah, now we're calculating burn during flight.
instead of fuel?
Well, that was the fuel burn.
87,527.29.
5, what?
87,527.29.
So that is the ugliest 8 I've ever done. All right, 87,527. Excellent. See how close we were on this. I'll show you in a second. 87. Oh, I need, what's the,
41.41 or 42, sorry.
41.42?
Yeah.
This one, thank you. See how close I was. That's a little off. That's a big shift. There's also a big shift in skydivers deal with.
That's why I brought this over to a buddy who ended up doing that in Texas, and he said it was just all the trim tab all the time.
So here's what if we took off with full fuel, or with the fuel load that we had talked about earlier, with what, 27 gallons? And we had 2 people in the front, 2 people in the back, 50 pounds of weight. That's where we're taking off at. We burn the 20 gallons and we have 2 people jump out. Down to there.
Mhm.
That is a massive shift.
Do you have a POH for Twin Otter or something that's super used?
No.
Where they're dumping like 20, 30 people out at a time?
No. But all you gotta do is that.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. It's just nothing but plugging in numbers and calculating it out. It's really not that hard.
With a bigger plane like that, would you see a lot less movement from the weight coming out? Would it take like a lot more like a lot more weight of jumping out to get that big?
It would depend. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how they have those planes loaded and what the CG, like what the shifts are on them. But from what he's saying, significant. So I would imagine it's from one end to the other. It really probably is.
For commercial, is the average weight per person still 175 or 170?
I'm not sure. That's something that's up to the airlines. You'd have to find out from them.
Well, there's like a general.
I know there is.
You know.
It's like weight, the general.
As a load master in the airports, I always said, if you don't know the weight of the person, just put 200, because there's some people above 200, some below. They just always told me to do 200.
Yeah, but the airlines
Well,
have a
it doesn't go
spec.
per person. It's
Yeah,
like
the airlines have a
average
specific
estimate.
number.
You know, we've got summer and a winter weight, depending on.
Are you serious? There's a, oh, because like jackets.
Because of gear.
Oh.
Yeah, like 25 pounds per person.
Okay.
Yeah, and
There you go.
It's not as efficient.
That's a lot.
Cool. We good on that? Good. All right. Do you guys have any other questions on weight and balance that we've talked about today?
How do you make this easier for yourself?
Just do it a couple times. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
Like what, if you were a prospective private certificate student getting ready for check rides and all that stuff, what system would you have just to take the stress out of this portion?
For the check ride, I would do it by hand like this and show it to the DPE.
You just add more steps and take away steps just to make sure that you're.
Well, you're not going to get anything like what we just did. It's going to be, you fill this out and you calculate everything for your flight. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to get anything crazy like that. I mean, I'll use ForeFlight, but I don't use that for my check ride. I mean, I do it myself I will balance the two against each other. So ForeFlight's going to really be pretty accurate, but ForeFlight's gotten me before. The logbook, somehow it added an extra 0.1 in my logbook, and I went line by line. I bumped them both. They just magically gave me a 0.1, and it screwed up my commercial check ride. I couldn't do it. In reality, my logbook said I was at 249.9, not 250. So I don't trust the electronic stuff very much. There's nothing better. If you use the two together, that you get a better chance of not screwing up. So my logbook, this is my master. I keep a paper logbook. I will use a digital one just to make sure that this is accurate, and it logs all sorts of other information that I want, like my solo times, my times when I'm flying cross country as a PIC versus as a student, because that's something the airlines want. I built it to mimic one of the airline apps program that when you're filling out applications. And so that gives me all the information I need for that, but that is my master. Paper is it. I'm on my second one right now, about to start a third. Yeah.
I'd say like a quick tip on logbooks, definitely keep an extra one, because I got my car broken into this year and I got my flight back stolen.
always.
That is where the digital really comes in.
Yeah.
After every flight, snap a picture, email it to yourself, do whatever. Never let there just be one copy,
Yeah.
ever.
As a flight instructor, you have to maintain a record of your flying with students. Every flight I've done with a student, their name goes in my logbook. So I know every flight I've done with every student and every maneuver we did. So I know what I need to work on. But yeah, do a paper, and I would highly recommend a paper and a digital. But as far as the weight and balance goes, ForeFlight's pretty handy. There's other apps you can use. But the DP, they're going to be happy if they see you did paper, that you actually know what you're doing. So So I don't usually teach for flight. I will help a student out with it sometimes, but I teach the paper sectional, and that's what we're gonna be doing here is the paper sectional. The nav log sheet, all by hand, so you know how to do it the old way. So anybody can follow a GPS. What happens when the GPS goes out? Because they do go out. Satellites, you'll lose RAM, you'll lose WAS. Now you can't use that GPS anymore. It's unreliable. So, what else? If you guys want to ask questions, we got about 20 minutes. I'll let you out of here 5 minutes early. If you don't ask questions, I'm going to make you each explain maneuvering speed using the, and he doesn't get to help, maneuvering speed using the lift formula.
How was your day?
It's good. I got to fly twice today. How was your day?
I did some homework.
I don't miss it. Weight and balance questions, anything else? Anything that
What
we,
beyond calculating your weight and balance would you be asked about during a check ride that you would need to know for the importance of that?
as far as anything or just,
Yeah, like in a check ride, like what do you need to know for weight and balance specifically?
you're going to want to understand the terms. You want to know roughly what they mean, or what I'm more worried about is that you guys know where to find the information. So where are the terms at? POH, which section?
Section 1.
General, right, section 1 is where the terms and all the terms related to definitions, stuff like that's at. So know where to look. That's the big thing. Same thing with the regs. There are a couple things that you're going to be expected to know as far as the regs go. You need to know the cloud clearance requirements, the minimum weather, minimums to take off, land, and end the traffic pattern in controlled airspace, which is not a cloud clearance requirement. That's a visibility and a ceiling. And that's all in 91-155. You're going to have some of those things down, like the airspace. What are the boundaries and how do you know when you're in Echo versus Golf? Things like that. When do you transition from Delta to the Gulf or the Echo, or what are we in this maneuver? That kind of stuff. You're going to need to know altitudes in your airspaces. VFR cruising altitudes, things like that. Those are things you're going to have to know. The rest, know where to look in the regs. So for like inoperative instruments and equipment, where do you go for that? Say you go out there, you're pre-flying the airplane, and you've got a landing light is out. Your landing light's out. Can you go? Well, what reg do you go to? That kind of stuff. That's going to run the list for you. As far as weight and balance, though, knowing how to calculate it, and then if he'll probably give you a weight shift formula or a weight shift problem. Like, well, can you get there? He will say, let's plan a flight from here to Fairbanks, and you're going to take such and such with you. It'll be you, the DPE, and he'll give you a weight for the passengers and some baggage. And then he's going to ask you to calculate the fuel loadout. And more than likely, you're going to be overweight. So now you have to figure out what to do. You're going to leave somebody behind. You're going to take less fuel, stop in Talkeetna along the way. There are options. It's up to you because it's a scenario. They want you to work through this scenario. And as long as you can justify your answers and it's a good, safe decision, you're fine. Any answer in there, he's not looking for one right answer. He's just looking for a safe answer.
I feel like you can cheese it a little bit though when you get through because as far as the amount of math that you're gonna have to do, you can stop and Talkeetna or take so much fuel in, or I can just kick Billy out of the back seat.
And those are all possible.
So,
But then you're going to probably have to make a flight back to get Billy.
okay.
But
You're using imaginary flights.
that's it. But that is exactly what the check ride's going to be. Now, when you get to the commercial, it's going to be all for money, and then you have to decide, well, one, can you do that? Can you charge? And two, Billy's not going to be pleased if he's paying for a flight that you're now coming back for, and that's more money and more fuel.
I'm subsidized. I'm the only guy flying to this village, so Billy.
But that's the type of stuff. But you're right. You can do that, and that's acceptable. So they just want to see that you understand this stuff, that you can make that call that, no, we're going to kick this person out because we already got the fuel in the airplane, and it's a hell of a lot easier to kick somebody out than take fuel out. This is not easy to defuel one of these airplanes. You're gonna be frozen forever, something.
There's a little one.
What
So-
types of questions are on the knowledge test?
Every single type that you saw on that 20 answer quiz is what you're gonna be, or
How
20
many
question.
questions are on,
That is how they're worded.
but how many questions are actually on that? No clue? You're not allowed to say, or?
I have no idea.
How many are on the full test? The whole
100.
test?
I'm pretty sure it's 100 questions.
Over everything. Random.
And it is randomized. They've got, the FAA has their number of tests that they'll give you, and they have specific number of questions for each section that they'll give you. I have no idea. And the specific wording of them is similar, but not exact. There's only one way that you're gonna know exactly what is on the test you're taking, and that's by taking the test. And if you fail it and you go back and take another one, more than likely, I guarantee you'll get a different test. We'll see some similar questions, may even see one or two exact ones, but they will also, most of them, almost all of them are gonna be different.
But all the terms, like general terms will be the
All the
same,
same.
rather just worded.
All the same, yep. Yep, the intent of the question is always gonna be the same.
How much does it cost to take this test? And how many times can you retake it?
You don't wanna fail that test.
Because on your record forever.
You don't wanna fail it.
Don't want to fail check credit.
And as long as you study, you won't. They're really not that hard. Really not. Learn how the formula for doing the weight and balance. We just did it. It's not hard. The weight shift formula, just do a weight and balance, and then do a new weight and balance to correct and see what the shift is, and there you go. There's your weight shift. There's your answer. You found it. You need to remove such and such fuel out. If there's a answer with auxiliary fuel tanks, I'm pretty sure it's never the auxiliary fuel tanks. That's why I'm letting you guys take the test over and over and over, so you can start to see the trends in the questions, or in the answers. And just so you know that the real test is only gonna have 3 answers, not 4.
That makes it harder.
There's never gonna be an all of the above or none of the above.
It's what?
Who's been answering all of the above and none of the above?
It's never that. And if piloting command is one of the options, it's probably piloting.
I purposely was putting all of the above and none of the above on there just to see who would answer it. So I got you.
Guess that, but-
So now I'll stop putting those on there.
That's you had your fun.
Yeah. Hey, blame Ray Weber on that one. He gave me the idea.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
You're not the only one. Tiernan does it now too.
what's that?
Tiernan does it now too.
Good. Hey, if we don't have fun with you guys, then it's the point. You
can do it when you're a professor too.
It was way worse when I was an airman on the flight line. When you're told you had to go get your boots x-rayed by non-destructive inspections because they were looking for cracks in the seal toes.
Kidding me, right?
Nope, we have had people do that.
And worse.
What about the
We would have people go and search for canine pee.
stack of six?
Ordered 50 feet of flight line.
ID10T form?
What's that?
ID10T form?
Yeah. Or did have a bunch of kids go to the first sergeant to get their Christmas bonus.
I sent a kid over to the squadron to get a new stick actuator.
Good.
That was a good one.
We have put that down in the forms once. Ops was not pleased. Does anybody know what the stick actuator is? Besides him?
You guys have a maintenance action form, like a mom app?
No.
Okay, so.
Oh, yeah. But that's not something that I ever saw. That was more of the chief and the captain and the lieutenant commander.
Okay. For some reason, all your action forms fall under the mom map. So we just, for some reason, decided to create a dad map on the boat, and then we got like 12 of them cut, and then we had to redo them. We also got a discrepancy one time, tailhook is gay. That was it. I have no idea.
All right, any other questions on our class?
I'm not gonna acknowledge it. That note.
All right, let's talk about the maneuvering speed then. Who's looked at the POH and looked at the different speeds? the V speeds. What is the bottom of the white arc called? What V speed is that one? V speed. It's V. What? Bottom of the white arc? It's VSO. Top of the white arc is just that. Just top of the white arc. There's no V number associated with it. So you got a bunch of V numbers, right? VX, VY. VX is the best angle of climb. VY is the best rate of climb. Then you have VA, which is maneuvering speed. Everybody go to chapter 2 of the POH. Of the Cessna POH.
No Seminole.
And I want the V speeds, the maneuvering speeds for the 172S.
Amen.
Is it the one that's under the airspeed limitation?
What's that?
Is it the one that's under the airspeed limitation?
Oh my Lord. Somebody come do this. I give up. I quit. Say again.
Is it under the airspeed limitations heading?
It's gonna, yes.
All right.
Just use this board there. Everybody see this side okay? I'll use blue. Is that all right? Should be brighter. Black is kind of. All right, who's got the airspeed limitations? VA. I want the maneuvering speeds.
Oh, maneuvering speed.
So first one,
At maximum,
2550. What's the maneuvering speed for 2550?
you want not indicated,
Yes,
105,
105. Okay. What's the next weight?
2,200, 98.
98 knots. And then
1900,
how much?
1900.
90.
Is it 90?
Yeah.
When do they use the calibrated airspeed on the Cessna?
All right. What do you notice with those speeds? Does that make sense to you guys? Why? Why does it make sense?
I imagine like swinging something weight on the end of a rope, you gotta swing it faster to get a heavier weight up.
Okay, good. You're actually pretty close.
Faster you go, the more lift you can have.
Yes, good. You're right on it. What is the purpose of the maneuvering speed? Does anybody know? It's to stall the airplane before you do structural damage to the airplane. So you're going to be doing abrupt. You can do abrupt control movements. Plane will stall first. It's also the turbulence penetration speed. Is your maneuvering speed. So if you're going into severe turbulence, you slow that plane down to your maneuvering speed. That way, the up and down movements, you will stall before anything breaks. Okay? So, you've got your lift equation. So I said that the maneuvering, so this is why it's important to know that it will stall the airplane before structural damage. Stall. Well, how do you stall the airplane? What about the angle of attack? You exceed critical angle of attack. Okay, which one of these on here? The coefficient of lift, surface area, rho, and velocity. Which one deals with angle of attack? Coefficient of lift. So the coefficient of lift shouldn't change for all the weights. Okay? So if you just change everything to 1, so we're going to throw a weight in here instead of just L. Let's go 2550. Now all that, what's going to get you to 2550 if everything's 1 except for velocity? Velocity, right? And what if it's 1900? So looking at it like that, can you guys all see that okay? It's getting a little low, I know. Do it up here.
And a 0 to make it 2550 at the top.
Thank you. All right, see that okay? Weights changed, higher and less. The only thing you can change is velocity, because you're still going to create. You want that angle of attack to be the same. When you're flying around at your maneuvering speeds for every weight, your angle of attack is the same. It's going to be at the same because you will stall at the same point. Your critical angle of attack never changed. The only thing you can change is your v speed, your velocity. So you have to decrease it as the weight decreases, like you said with the weight, spinning it. You have to spin faster for a heavier weight. It's always going to be at a point though where the plane is just above a stall, or just at a point where increasing the load factor enough will stall the plane before you do the damage to it. Okay? No? Who's lost? Okay. You guys are making me feel like I'm a better instructor than I really am. You're not asking questions. Is it really, you're good with all that? All right, good, because this is actually one of the most difficult concepts sometimes for people. They're blown away by it. Like, how's the airplane going to stay in the air if we're going slower? Like you said, plane weighs less, you don't have to generate as much lift. The angle of attack is going to be the same. There you go. Velocity has to decrease. So, you guys are way ahead of the curve then. As you know now, here's a good one for you. How many maneuvering speeds are there for any airplane?
Almost infinite.
I'm sorry?
Almost infinite.
Why?
Your weight's changing all the time.
Constantly. So as you're flying, what's happening to your maneuvering speed throughout your flight?
Getting lower.
Good. You guys are on it. If you're ever in doubt, what should you do?
Plan.
No. I mean, if you're ever in doubt, like you're in some severe turbulence, because it will happen. You'll get into severe turbulence. What do you think you should do as far as your speed goes?
Lower it.
To what? But you're not going to know exactly what that is because you don't have a scale in flight.
I mean, get on the side of a lower maneuvering speed, a lower weight,
Which one?
the lowest. I
Yeah,
guess.
go 90.
Yeah.
How about the wide arc, 85 knots? You're in the wide arc, that's flaps. When you can use full flaps, you can do abrupt control inputs in the wide arc without damaging the airplane. That's the whole purpose of the wide arc. So, and anytime you're in doubt, get either at the lowest maneuvering speed that the manufacturer gives you, and some of them don't give you the low end. Just know that the wide arc, the flaps operating range of your airplane, for a general aviation airplane, you're going to be okay in the wide arc if you keep it right at the top, because you won't hurt the plane. And that's a big thing. You can stall the airplane to recover, given enough altitude. You can't recover from a lost wing. So, unless you're an F-15.
Sort of the guy that got his wing knocked off, landed, and wondering why everyone was looking at him.
Exactly. That's what I was referencing. It's really F-15. All right, that was my one I talked to the class about it before class last time, so I figured we'd do it tonight. That was quicker than I thought it would be. Any other questions then? You guys just want to get out of here, don't you? All right, I'm done then. You guys don't have any questions? Everybody sign in?
It's right here.
How much you spend on it? Okay.
Joe, just
How many pages that is?
do you not have access to the printer over there?
Yeah, certain dollar amount, and then it's gone. It is. It's $15 a semester.
Great.
Yeah. Or well,
Yeah.
it's 15. You get $15 to print, and each copy is like 25 cents. or something.
I
I don't know.
That's,
Northern Indiana.
No, not tonight. My daughter, I gotta get
I
some.
get it.
I gotta go tonight. But next week, that's fine. Right. Then I will, I'm gonna talk to her tonight, schedule and see if I can do something throughout the week. Because typically I'm flying, as long as I am flying, I'm at Angel until 6, 7, 8 o'clock.
Joe.
So I can
I
do-
was so close.
If I'm done at 6, I can.
I heard that you had